Welcome back to Duck Takes, everyone, or What the Duck is Up, as I usually say.
Yeah.
What the Duck is Up, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode. I'm Blake, my co-host Garrett.
Hey, guys.
Today, we're going to do our top 10 movies of 2024. I know it's February already.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people do catch up on 2024 movies in January.
Yeah, because they're trying to prep for like Oscars and stuff like
season,
that.
Yeah.
Even though I will say, I'll preface this right now, there are decent movies that I have not seen. So yeah, don't hate me if they're not in my top 10.
But definitely got to get a top 10 movies of 2024 episode out there before we really are in the meat of 2025. And 2024 was I'd say a good year for movies. I think 2023 was definitely one of the better years of movies in like the last decade.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to top 2023 with Oppenheimer, Cross the Spider-Verse, The Holdovers, Poor Things, Godzilla -1.
It was a good year.
It was a good year. Barbie, it was a good year. But nonetheless, I mean, every year is a great year for movies. And these are our top 10 movies of 2024. Now, I'm really liking what we're doing lately with the just...
Yeah, I'm saying you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Or do you want you to go first because there's less expectations? But you put the expectations on yourself.
That's true. I might like second guess everything I do after. But I feel like you might say one that I like totally forgot about and been like, oh shit.
How would you forget it though?
I don't know.
Do you really forget?
Sometimes. I know you just go back to your letterbox, but I was not good about filling that out.
I mean, I can go first if you want me to, but then I feel like you're just going to be second guessing your whole list.
Yeah, fuck it. All right, I'll just go first. Just take it at face value. All right. Well,
from what Garrett has seen in 2024.
Yeah.
Or from 2024.
All right. So starting off at number 10, I am going to go The Fall Guy.
Interesting.
I know. So this is going to be my most interesting pick that's on this list. So this one, obviously, it is just like another action movie. But I had a lot of fun with this. I love that it actually like gave respect to the stuntmen of Hollywood who do not get the recognition that they deserve for all the movies that they do. Mm-hmm. I had a great time with it. And to be honest, like, I don't know. The story was interesting enough to keep me involved. Like, cause I know this whole thing was kind of just an excuse to like do all these crazy stunts.
Yeah.
But the story was still interesting enough. It kept me intrigued. And I thought it had a good twist in the movie. Didn't really see that coming.
It was definitely a movie that a lot of people had fun with for sure.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, can't go wrong.
Yeah,
with Ryan
exactly.
Gosling,
A great lead with Ryan Gosling.
I always forget Aaron Taylor Johnson was in that movie.
Yeah,
too.
he's like the main antagonist.
Yeah. Emily Blunt. It definitely has some great comedic moments too.
Mm-hmm. I remember having a smile on my face the entire time watching this movie. And sometimes that's all you can ask out of a movie. I don't always have to get into it, get super critical and be like, oh, this didn't make sense, and try to break it apart. Like sometimes I just want to go in and have fun, which is why this is number 10 on the list and not like taking over, like my more critically acclaimed movies.
I do wish there were more like comedies that I would put on this list now that I think about it.
Yeah. Like I feel like everything just has to have like this deep hidden message and like, sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to think when I watch a movie. I really don't. Sometimes I just want to go in and smile and have fun. And I feel like it's hard to do that with a lot of the movies coming out lately, especially like when we watch these movies for Oscar season and stuff like that, because those are the kind of movies that are going to get nominated.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 10 pick. And yeah, completely switching gears at number 9, I do have A Different Man.
Okay.
So I liked A Different Man. I think upon a rewatch, it could go up, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to rewatch this movie. I'm not going to lie. It made me feel so uneasy. I really liked it. Like, I thought it was a very interesting story. I thought Sebastian Stan did an amazing job in this movie as well, even though you said you liked him better in The Apprentice, which I have not.
No.
Oh, you said the opposite.
I said the opposite. He got nominated for The Apprentice.
But you said he should have got nominated for this.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Okay. All right, so I watched the better of the two because I have not seen The Apprentice
but
yet.
They love I mean, I haven't even seen it either, but like I can just tell, like, I don't know. The Oscars just love a biopic. Like Timothy Chalamet's a different
I know what you're talking about.
What? Why am I blanking on? I'm thinking of a different man. There's a different man. A complete unknown. A complete unknown. Where he plays Bob Dylan. Yeah, there's just a lot of like.
What's with like these ambiguous titles? We have those. We have those two. The Substance.
Well, there's also there's been a lot of man movies lately, like A Different Man, A Something Man. There's been a lot of man movies.
No, but honestly, like I thought the message in this movie was also great while being very creepy. They did a great job with the practical effects in this one. I feel like we've been getting a lot of good examples of practical effects in movies. I feel like they're starting to bring that back a little bit more.
I think people are realizing that's what we like.
Not so heavily reliant on CGI.
Yeah. And especially if you're going to do like body horror, like practical effects just makes it all the more.
It's always better. It's just more real. It seems like you can actually.
Like it makes you feel so much more uncomfortable.
Yes. Like you could actually like reach out and touch it.
Yeah.
It makes you a lot more uneasy.
It like the way A Different Man started was just so unexpected for me. Like I really went into this movie kind of blind. I knew what the story was about.
I go into everything blind. So I'm in the same boat.
I knew what the story was about, but like for the most part, I really hadn't seen any scenes or, really knew where the story would go. But and it starts out with this whole like transformation of his face and his like the body horror of it falling off and stuff. And I didn't expect that at all. So I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it was honestly, really cool
the second
way.
He started like picking things away, I was like, oh, he's like going to tear his face off. I was like, I know he's going to do that.
Yeah. But it was definitely like a very unique way of telling this story.
Mm-hmm. Moving on though, at number 7, I do have, moving on at number 8, I do have Alien Romulus.
Nice.
I did like Alien Romulus a lot. I thought it did a great job of doing like callbacks to the previous movies. Also, I love the robot that we get in this one.
Andy.
Andy. Yes, I could not remember his name, but I thought Andy was an amazing character to come out of that movie. And personally, the ending that everybody kind of gives shit with, like the human alien hybrid, I didn't have a problem with it. And also, I thought it was hilarious that it was that basketball player that we saw like years ago.
Yeah. I very vividly remember
that videos
of him years ago when he was like 12.
Yeah, he was like 12 and like 7 feet tall or some crazy shit
playing
like that.
Basketball, yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember. And then to see him in that movie, I was like, you know what? This is probably the perfect job for him.
Yeah.
This is a perfect job.
It was crazy. And I know we don't have like a huge deep connection to the Alien franchise. Like I really do love the original Alien movie, but I made my way through that franchise just this past year, and so did you. So it's not like this has been a very nostalgic franchise for us.
No.
So
but I really liked the Alien franchise. Right. And I feel like, me developing this love for this franchise and then getting to see this new one come out and doing a great job with it.
Yeah. I think it made a decent amount of money too. I think it was one of the highest grossing Alien movies, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the highest. I think it might have been.
So it definitely deserves to be on this list. And a lot of horror on this list this year.
That's good. Good.
At number 7, I have The Wild Robot. I thought this was a great recent pick. DreamWorks picture. This is a very heartwarming story. Kind of like, I feel like we've been getting a lot of these like robot stories where it's like they're kind of like learning to love and it like goes against programming. Yes. I feel like that always gets to the hearts of people.
Even the movie I just saw the other day, Companion with Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
And it's basically she's like a sex robot, but she is a robot and like again a story where the robot goes against their
protocol
programming. Where like they go against their programming and they learn, adapt. And I feel like we've been getting a lot of those robot stories.
Yeah. And I feel like
last year, Megan.
You could even say that in Alien Romulus too, because it was about like Andy, and if he had followed his prime directive, he would not have removed the company chip out of his thing at the end of the movie. He wouldn't have done that.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a lot of robots shit lately.
And it works.
It allows an exploration of like human characteristics for sure.
And then honestly, we get like a pretty cool fight scene at the end of this movie too.
The wild robot?
Yeah, remember? Like they're fighting against the robots that come after him in the woods. And she's like, I'm a wild robot. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
There's been a lot of high praise for the Wild Robot.
A lot of very sweet moments, and I liked how they ended up just like revering this robot as like a mother figure for the entire forest, and out of respect for her, they all like had to get along when they were like hibernating for the winter.
Yeah.
It's a very sweet movie.
Yeah, a lot of people have been calling it DreamWorks' best in the last decade.
Moving on though, at number 6, I do have The Substance.
Garrett's a substance boy.
I like The Substance a lot. Again, body horror, man.
Body horror is the way to do it.
And honestly, the concept alone in this one is enough to put it on this list. Like, I just loved this concept.
There was a few questions I had while watching the movie of like when they each were conscious at the same time.
Yeah.
I was wondering how that was like
possible.
Yeah. Also, are they like sharing the same consciousness? And then towards the end, I'm like, well, there's no way they are, but at the same time, they are. I don't know.
There is a lot of questions.
Yeah,
for sure. Cause like they would talk about each other like they were a different person,
right?
But it's like, no, you're one person.
Yeah. But then they were awake at the same time, and
maybe it just has something to do with like the brain chemistry of like an older person versus a younger person, because the younger person obviously is not going to think about the consequences of their actions as much,
right?
Which is why, you know, she kept like stretching the time and like kept going past the 7-day mark,
right? But I'm saying, so the whole point of that was so that Demi Moore's character could feel like a star again, like young again, beautiful again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's also feeling all of these consequences of her other self, you know, prolonging her time from the substance. So it's like, is she really feeling the benefits of this substance, or is it all really just negative? I mean, I guess that's like a hidden message in there too, you know?
I mean, well, she's definitely experiencing the positive with like getting a show and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. But that's the other version.
I mean, but technically it's still Demi Moore in there.
But does she feel that? Does she feel that?
I don't know.
Because
like,
she's so jealous.
She is. Yeah. She hates looking at the pictures and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Those are just my questions that I had.
But it's like at a certain point, she had to have been experiencing that joy at some point, because otherwise she would have just cut it off.
Yeah, right. Because there were multiple times where you're like,
she was like, they were like, do you want to
terminate it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she would say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, at this point now, I need her.
She clearly, because she was like, that's the only kind of like joy she could feel, because she felt so ashamed about her own body.
Oh man, there are so many gross. Remember when there was like all that pus?
Oh, that part was disgusting. And then just and like the fluid that she was extracting that used to look like a nice clear green or whatever was just like dust. It was disgusting.
I think that might have been even grosser than the final scene, which is just spraying everywhere.
It was. No, there's something about like pus that's just and I will never watch like Dr. Pimple Pop or anything. I don't know how people watch that
especially considering like the fact that pus was on the spine. Yeah. Like she was having to go in the spine.
Yeah. It was like in the spinal cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the body horror was absolutely insane.
Could not stand it.
I can't believe it's getting so much attention from the Oscars, but
yeah,
it's cool to see.
I like that it's getting the attention.
Yeah, I do too.
Let's move on though. At number 5, I do have Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe not as high as some people would have.
I think it's pretty high.
As far as for top 10 of 2024 for sure, but and a lot of this is like Willem Dafoe's performance bringing it up, and
Lily Rose.
Honestly, kind of everybody. Like I could list the entire cast.
I mean, we're not Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård playing Nosferatu. Like, good God, that man he was born to play movie monsters.
Yeah, he really was.
And he does it so well. Again, this is one that I definitely think could go up upon a rewatch. And the reason I feel like I have it lower is like, again, this was another movie that just gave me that like uneasy feeling. And
what I liked about the horror movies this year was it wasn't so focused on scaring you from a jump scare.
Yeah.
or just trying to be like loud for the sake of it, but just from the concept or just from the environment and feeling it gave off. And honestly, the performances too was a huge part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously there's been a lot of great body horror this year. Like, yeah, I think 2024 was a big focus on
Body
horror.
Yeah, because that like final shot of Nosferatu and
Yeah, even that one.
like, bro,
the makeup.
I could not stand to like see him
Yeah.
on top of her and like
Yeah.
like here's this absolutely beautiful girl and just a fucking monster on top of her, like sucking her blood out from her chest. It was it's not a pretty sight, and it's not supposed to be a pretty sight, but at the same time it gives you a bad feeling while you're watching it.
Again, Nosferatu 4 nominations for the Oscars. So Nosferatu and The Substance definitely got some love, which is great to see. I know we've been talking about the Oscars plenty on this podcast, and we can't always win with the Oscars. That's for damn sure.
No,
especially lately. But horror was definitely a big W at the Oscars this year.
At number 4, I have Terrifier 3.
What the fuck? I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, he really liked Terrifier 3.
I loved Terrifier 3.
What?
Yes, over Nosferatu. Like I said, this is about my pure enjoyment. This is about my enjoyment. God. And while I look critically, yes, I will tell you that Nosferatu is probably the better movie. But not only did I have fun with Terrifier 3, it was also creepy and gross. I love the character of Art the Clown. Dude, whenever we talk about Terrifier 3, I'm like, this is like right up my alley. Like I genuinely think this horror series is my Halloween.
And why is that?
Like I said, the character, I love the body horror that is in each movie. I think Art the Clown is hilarious while being disgusting, and also the whole heaven and hell theme that they're going down. That's like what sealed the deal, because I absolutely love when horror movies have this whole like heaven and hell complex. I love that.
Like Supernatural.
Yeah, they do that a lot towards the end, later seasons of Supernatural.
Yeah, I know they do.
But yeah, no, I love that shit.
What the fuck?
I love Terrifier 3.
That's crazy. I mean, I really enjoyed it too. I just was not expecting to see on top 10 movies of 2024.
Top 10 movie.
I'm really surprised that you do love this franchise as much as you do. It's a franchise that we both recently got into, because I'd seen the first Terrifier the other year, and I put off watching Terrifier 2 for so long. I literally had the 4K DVD of it, and I just never wanted to watch it because I heard about the bedroom scene, and there was, the headlines of some people passing out in their Terrifier 2 screening. And then I finally watched Terrifier 2, and obviously that was the introduction to Lauren Lavera's character, Serena, who she's a great character, and I've really loved her involvement in the last few movies. Obviously they've gotten a bigger budget, so they've gotten a lot more to play with, and they're definitely introducing a little more themes here and there each movie, and now clearly, like as you said, we do have this heaven and hell theme now, where and like the spiritual world, because Art the Clown is immortal now at this point. So it's definitely going to levels that you could say some other slashers just never went to. I just can't believe you've enjoyed it this much, because you're not a big horror guy.
No, I'm not. But like, dude, as I was going down the list, I was like, this is a top 5 movie for me for sure.
That's crazy, so bro. That's crazy.
And I definitely, I remember like watching it, like I definitely enjoyed it more than Nosferatu. Like I said, like I respect Nosferatu a lot, and that's why it is number 5. But I just had more fun with Terrifier 3. I really did.
Damn.
At number 3, I have Kneecap.
Good.
I loved Kneecap. You described it perfectly. This is literally straight out of Compton, but in Ireland. And
it's just right up our alley.
It is right up our alley. You know, it has to do with rap music, and I loved how informative this movie was as well. Because, and I think that's another reason we like Straight Outta Compton a lot as well, is because like we didn't really know, you know, all the ins and outs of what was going on and why their music was as important as it was and how it was so controversial. And that's exactly what we get out of this as well. Like, I didn't even know that, you know, the native Irish language was like so discriminated against in Ireland. Like, I had no idea.
That it was banned from like 1792 to 2022.
2022, yeah. Like, very recently.
Yeah.
It is a very recent thing. And
no, I was unaware of that. So that was really interesting to learn about, because this movie was happening. I'm like, wait, is this like for real? For real? And I looked it up and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, it almost sounded like it wasn't real.
Right.
Like this was like a made up problem.
Because it just seems so crazy. Like, why would a language be banned in a country and their native language?
Yeah.
I just thought that was very interesting.
And like, what a better way to bring it back with music.
Right.
Because music is just so powerful, man. People don't realize how powerful music can be. And the fact that all of our main characters are performed by the actual people themselves.
Yeah.
I love that.
The band
that
members
part
themselves.
as well. Yeah. That's
Very cool.
so awesome.
DJ Pruvy was
probably my favorite person. He was so awesome. But yeah, Kneecap, like that's probably like my most recommended to go watch.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix, and it's just very.
It was like a
very stylistic, very artistic editing style.
Yeah, definitely some creative choices. Like I love the like little writing that they would do, and they would give you translations on the screen, so you don't have to have like subtitles. Because honestly, subtitles does like sometimes take you out of the movie, and they understand that obviously not everybody's gonna know the Irish language who sees this movie. Like they're trying to create massive appeal, and you could also tell that in their music while they were performing, because they didn't do the Irish language the whole time they were rapping. Right, like they would switch back and forth between the Queen's English or the King's English and the Irish language. So that way, even if you don't speak it, you can kind of go back and forth and at least understand some of the music. Yeah. But yeah, they would have those little written things in the side, so they would translate it for you. I liked it a lot. Ooh, not to mention my new celebrity crush.
Isn't it like, it's like Jessica Reynolds? I think it is.
Yeah, you're right. Jessica Reynolds. All right. At number 2, I do have Furiosa. Furiosa.
I already know what number 1's going to be. I mean, top 2. Yeah.
Top 2 should not be different for anybody, honestly.
Well, actually, it will be for me.
Oh, interesting.
But
top 3.
That changed recently.
Oh, yeah.
That changed recently. But yeah, Furiosa, fucking fantastic.
Furiosa's so good. I loved Chris Hemsworth's character.
Man. Anya Taylor-Joy, fantastic. Chris Hemsworth, fantastic. George Miller, fantastic director. Didn't get any attention this award season, which is just...
It's a damn shame.
It's a shame. Flopped at the box office. Shame. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that this movie did not succeed the way it should have. But, hey, we did our part. We were there opening weekend in theaters. And it's a fire movie. Great IMAX experience. And, I mean, it's everything you can expect from the George Miller Mad Max saga movie. A lot of great, like the car chases in this were fantastic as well. Yeah, no, honestly, like this is a sequel that did its original so much justice, which you can't. A prequel. You know what I mean? Yeah. A movie that comes out, many years later, an unplanned sequel. Like it's not very often when an unplanned sequel does so well. Well, I think technically they were supposed to do Furiosa first. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. But then it just never happened, and then they did Mad Max. But it really is like uncanny of how well Anya Taylor-Joy got down, like the voice and like the body movements of Charlize Theron in Mad Max. Like especially at the end of the movie when she's giving her monologue to Chris Hemsworth. I'm like, yeah, she does really sound like Charlize Theron. She did an amazing job. Yeah. But last but not least, at number 1, we do have Dune Part 2. Yeah, it hasn't changed. Nah, Dune Part 2, bro.
I mean, do I even need to talk about it anymore? I mean, it's Dune Part 2. It's
well, you know what's
fucking
unfortunate
amazing.
is I feel like people aren't really talking about it because I mean, I guess we are, but like it hasn't been getting attention.
No, it came out probably. I think it's recency bias, man.
It is recency bias.
It didn't. It came out a while ago.
It came out. Damn, bro. Damn. Whoa. Hold up a second. Hold the fuck up. I think we're officially at. We're almost at a year now.
Yeah.
That it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is not getting attention because of recency bias. I'm
Yeah,
telling
man.
you, bro.
Dude.
If this movie came out in November, it would be up for like every
it'd be
category.
sweeping. It'd be sweeping.
It would be up for every category.
And like, bro, TikTok was swarmed with Dune edits after this movie came out. It's so good.
It is.
And those edits were fire. That was a great time on TikTok.
It's just such a fascinating universe that I think Denis has really done a great job at like it's so grand. I don't know. The presentation of it has been amazing.
Nah, and like just the world building in these movies is amazing.
I really do like the world building.
Like I do love getting just enthralled in this universe just as much as like I get, swept up into like the Star Wars universe. Like
me too.
It's very easy to when you go to the theater. You're just like,
it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fascinating, especially when it's presented that grand and like you can. It's funny because I went back and watched Blade Runner 2049 for the first time like the other month, last month. And after watching Blade Runner 2049, I'm like, oh, this is exactly why Denis had to direct the Dune movies.
Yeah.
Just the scale of the sci-fi genre that he is able to pull off in Blade Runner 2049. It's clear why he did the Dune movies.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
So good. And it should be up for a lot more nominations.
Yes, it should.
It's crazy. Like, I think Timothy should be nominated for Dune.
He should.
But he's nominated for A Complete Unknown. And again, these fucking biopics.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the sci-fi genre?
I don't know.
I don't think the Academy likes the sci-fi genre that much either.
Why?
I don't know.
Like,
they love period pieces. They love biopics. I don't get it.
Musicals?
It might be a recent. Yeah, I guess. They do like, no, you're right. They do like musicals. They do.
They've been sucking musicals off.
They do like musicals. And, man, like there's been an argument to be made that even other actors from Dune Part 2, like Rebecca Ferguson, should have been gotten some attention as well. I mean, Denis didn't even get nominated for Best Director.
That's insane.
It's insane. I don't get it.
Insane. But you know who did get nominated for Best Director?
What, fucking Amelia Perez director? Yeah, I'm sure everyone who listens to us knows that by now. All right. Well,
there is my top 10.
Well, I expected your top 2. Definitely some interesting choices in there, which I was not expecting. But that's your list.
That's my list.
All right.
And I'm not changing it. I can't change it now.
Now we definitely can't. All right, here are my top 10 movies of 2024. Like Garrett said, there are some movies that I haven't seen from 2024, but I've definitely been knocking a lot of movies out lately, so I feel confident in this list. At number 10, I have Smile 2. Was not expecting Smile 2 to be this high on my list. I do have.
What do you mean this high? It's number 10.
I'm saying like, I guess this high on my 2024 list.
Of liked movies.
Of all movies.
Okay. I was like, you're starting at the bottom, dude.
Again, like you said, there's a few horror movies on this list, which definitely makes me happy. Naomi Scott gives a fantastic performance. There's definitely a few horror movie performances that could easily be up there for a nomination. And Naomi Scott killed it. I think, and while we were talking earlier about how there's a lot of horror movies this past year that didn't really rely on jump scares, Smile 2 did have fantastic jump scares, but they were really well done jump scares.
They were tasteful.
They were tasteful. They weren't like your typical jump scares where it's like someone jumping at you, but a matter of like the sound and the unsettling picture that you see with that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And music was good. You got some like original songs in there as well because our main character is a pop singer.
Yeah.
And there's actually some songs in there that are fire, that are original songs. Opening scene was fucking fantastic.
I need to watch Smile too.
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. It's really good. They're really well shot. It's a really well shot sequel. I do think it is better than the original Smile. Number 9, I have Hitman. So this is a movie that came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Which was directed by Richard Linklater. Glenn Powell, baby. He was on a tear in 2024. I almost had Twisters on this list. Now, a lot of people, I don't know why Twisters gets, the hate that it gets. I think it's because people didn't see it in theaters. A lot of the 2 to 3 star reviews I've seen of Twisters definitely came after its theater release. And I think Twisters was a movie that was just like a great theater experience. I had a great time seeing that in IMAX, and it was just...
Yeah, I can see the sound like going crazy.
Yeah, it was just a really good like disaster movie. And I feel like you don't see that many disaster movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely had that like classic Hollywood blockbuster feel to it. And not to mention, I think, fucking Glenn Powell can have chemistry with a goddamn tree. He's... So, and speaking of Hitman,
just a likable guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a charismatic guy. Speaking of chemistry, him and Adria Jorna had fantastic chemistry with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. There is one scene in this movie where the chemistry is just off the charts. That alone should have gotten Glenn Powell maybe some attention as well. Like, again, this was, you could consider this a comedy, and he could have been considered to be nominated for like Golden Globe comedy or musical.
Yeah.
But again, this is a movie that came out, and I think like around May. It was definitely like the summer of 2024, but it also came out on Netflix. So yeah, it didn't really get much attention. And again, with the recency bias, as always with the Oscars. But Glenn Powell's fucking great. And what's really cool is like he gets to play a bunch of different characters in this movie too.
Yeah.
At number 8. Our second horror movie on the list, The First Omen.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you want to talk about how 2024 had a lot of unsettling horror movies?
Yeah.
I think this was the most unsettling horror movie for me this year.
Really?
Yeah. More unsettling than Nosferatu. More unsettling than Long Legs. Ah, man, there's some scenes that I'm just like, what the fuck, man? And this was a legacy prequel to The Omen that came out in 1976. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even seen the original Omen. I haven't seen the other Omen movies. So this is the first Omen movie that I've seen. I said the title. And so I don't know if that also helped my likings for this movie. So I didn't really have any expectations going into it, or like any gripes with it because of
like there was nothing from the previous movies that you saw that you like wanted to see in this one.
Exactly.
And I get what you mean. You didn't have any expectations from previous movies.
Right.
Basically.
Music, the musical score was good. Fucking lighting and cinematography was great. And
right up your alley.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna get into detail of it, but there are some scenes that I'm just like, bro, what the fuck is going on? So basically the plot of the movie is like, there's a little kid in the original Omen. You see him on the cover of the poster, and that's like the possessed child. And this movie, The First Omen, is about that mother giving birth to this child. And dude, the birthing scenes in these movies,
it already
fucked.
sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked. But it had me. That was one movie that definitely had me like up a little bit at night after watching it. So that's number 8 on this list. Number 7, I have Anora.
Okay.
Mikey Madison. I know we talked about this on a recent podcast episode. Fantastic movie. I was kind of skeptical about first 20 minutes, maybe even the first act, but really kicked up a notch in the second act, really took a turn in like the tone of the movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the payoff was definitely there by the end. A tragic final scene that was beautifully acted out by Mikey Madison. She's definitely on her way to being a star, if not already. The Anora, you could say, snubs lately has definitely been interesting to see.
Yeah, because everybody thought that was gonna take over completely, right?
Take over every single category, take over every single win. Everyone had Mikey Madison pin the win. A lot of people were saying Anora was going to win Best Picture. I don't even think that's in the cards anymore, which is crazy. However, we're going to get into movie news on either, I think you would have probably heard this by now because I'm going to put out the movie news episode first, but there's a lot of shit going down with Amelia Perez. So maybe Anora is back in the runnings.
It's possible.
For Best Picture.
Dude, that'd be amazing if Amelia Perez is talking themselves out of these undeserved wins already.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get into it. It's fantastic. But no, I really did like Anora, and I'm really happy to see Mikey Madison, just absolutely killing it right now in her career. Number 6, I do have A Different Man.
Okay,
a little higher on my list, but piggybacking off of you, it's definitely an unsettling way to tell the story.
Yes.
But a unique way that really, really grasped my attention.
I didn't even know it was a thriller when I went into it. So
is that what it's like?
It's defined as a thriller drama. Yeah.
Which is a story like that is not what you would expect.
No.
You would expect that's just like a melodramatic, but
yeah, no, there are a lot more lighthearted ways to tell that story.
Yeah, for sure. And this was interesting, bro.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan was great.
Dude, when he was having his whole crash out and pretending to be Oswald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he lost it. He lost his shit.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Crash and burned.
He was trying to do that at his sales job. Or his He was
he was trying to live his life as Oswald, even though he was born like Oswald.
Yeah. But it was just crazy how he wanted to go back.
Yeah. And how hard he tried to bury his old self in the ground.
I will say there is one thing about that movie that had me confused.
Okay.
Why did his neighbor, why did she pretend like she came up with was it Leonard? What was his name? What was his name before he switched it to Guy? Edward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did she pretend like she made Edward up? Do you remember that?
Right.
Because when they were discussing the character and they were talking about how you came up with this character, and even when he was Guy asking her, he was like, how'd you come up with him? And she was like, I dreamt him up, basically. He's an original creation of my mind. I'm like, why is she pretending like her neighbor did not exist?
I think that is a commentary on some artists or how just selfish people can be or greedy people can be when coming up with a play or a movie or something, and just how, I don't know, just how cutthroat I think the industry can be as well.
Yeah.
And just how that, I think that also set an example of what her morals were like.
Yeah. And I think that was also where I was now him as Guy, why do you even want her anymore? She completely just totally dismissed your existence. And I get that you're like trying to be a different person now.
I think at that point it was
like, because he wanted to forget Edward too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, she's making this thing about Edward's life, about him, and he wanted that role because he was like, I was born to play this, but it's like you changed yourself and now you're not. It just, I don't know. It just,
I think at that point it was more of like a game of, could he still get this girl now that he is
maybe
a different
like
person?
He desired, maybe he was just like prioritizing her over his dreams at that point.
It's honestly, no, her character was fucked.
Her character was fucked. She was awful.
I think it was obviously great for the story, but her character's fucked. Like, it almost reminded me, she's like even a more fucked version of Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Forrest Gump.
No, I just, And it just caught me by so much surprise too, because she was like so kind to him at first.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she like gave him the attention that nobody else would. And I didn't know if it was, you know, maybe she was like doing it almost like a study case, basically. Like that's why she was giving him this attention when he was Edward, because she did have the idea to, you know, write a story about him. And so that's why she gave him so much attention. But yeah, no, her character threw me for a loop for sure.
Yeah.
And then she ends up like marrying Oswald. And it's like, so you had a problem with Edward, but now you're with Oswald. I was like,
there's a lot going on in that movie.
Yeah. And I felt bad because I was like, you know, she got with Oswald. I was like, did Edward have to change it all? And that's like the message of the whole thing. It's like he probably didn't. And, you know, he would have had Oswald's life, but I don't know. Just obviously just felt bad for Sebastian Stan's character at the end.
Yeah. Moving on to number 5, I have Kneecap.
All right.
I don't really know what else to say about this. I know we've talked about it a few times and you just talked about it, but yeah, great movie.
It is very good.
Highly recommend it. Yeah. And if you're a big rap guy, but also if you're a big music guy, and you also like history,
songs kind of slap too.
Yeah, it's just got everything you want then. Not to mention Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the fact that we have not even brought up Michael Fassbender like speaks to how good the movie itself is, and it doesn't like use him as a crutch or anything like that.
Nope, not at all. Number 4, I have Nosferatu.
Okay.
Another banger from Robert Eggers. Every performance in here slapped. Love Willem Dafoe and everything he's in. Absolutely kills it no matter how big or small the role. Always makes his presence felt. Love the set design. I mean, you guys know Robert Eggers is a madman when it comes to set design between this, The Northman, The Witch, The Lighthouse. He's definitely going to get the historic accuracy correct.
What do you have to do for The Lighthouse?
It
was just a lighthouse.
I get it. But I mean, even The Witch with, you know, smelting the nails down like how they did in the 1600s. So yeah, you just knew the little details in this movie were going to be off the charts. Bill Skarsgård makeup design was fantastic. And his whole process of becoming Nosferatu was crazy with his voice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie. Good movie. Moving into the top 3, Furiosa at number 3. I wish I did see this movie more than once in IMAX.
Yeah.
Because it fucking slapped in IMAX, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it did. It's all right, bro. We just got to get rich enough, get our own home theater.
Yeah. Need to get the steelbook for it, too.
Is there a steelbook?
Yeah, there's a steelbook.
Does it look cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. They're realizing, I think there's a steelbook for every new movie now.
Uh-huh.
I think steelbooks have definitely gotten a lot more popular in the last few years. I mean, fuck, there's some La La Land steelbooks that are like, that go for sale for like $200.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't prioritize steelbooks like that.
I know, no, neither could I.
I'll build a 4K collection. I'll be happy with that, but I don't.
But it's crazy.
I don't think I can get in all the steelbooks.
Dude, it's crazy though, because like at this point, if I'm gonna buy a physical copy of something, I don't even want the regular 4K. Give me a steelbook. And honestly, some steelbooks are just as much as a 4K copy. You know what I mean?
True.
Dude,
I mean, yeah, if I have the option between a steelbook and a 4K and they're around the same price, of course I'm going to go for the steelbook.
Like new releases for movies that are just 4K go for like $25.
Really?
Yeah, bro. In the meantime, I can get some steelbooks for fucking $18. I got a Dirty Dancing steelbook in perfect mint condition with a beautiful cover at this CD store for $18. I'm gonna take that all day long.
We did just find that they had
they
had Freddy Krueger,
Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one, but it wasn't
for sale yet. They hadn't tagged it yet, unfortunately.
And he wouldn't let me take it. He was like, "Yeah, hopefully that'll be ready next time you come." I'm like, fuck.
It's like I'm never over here.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up.
Speaking of which. Yeah, no, they had the Skywalker saga,
the whole saga.
And this thing came out a few years ago, where it has like a picture of the Death Star in the front. It's like you take the two pieces, you split them apart.
It's like barn doors that you open up.
And you take this book out, and it has all this concept art for every movie, and on every page is each disc. They had it comes with a 4K and a Blu-ray episodes 1 through 9 plus bonus content in there as well.
Each movie as well.
So Yeah, that was I bought that for a little over $200 total
with tax and
with tax and everything.
But it was labeled for $189, and like a lot of them, we looked it up online before he got it.
$250, $275, but it's all going to be, it's all people reselling it though, because this came out a few years ago, and I think the base price was like what I got it for. It was like $180, but they sold out like that.
Yeah.
So mine's like a little used. Like there's a tiny bit of wear and tear, but I was like, for $190, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And plus, like as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, I realized I don't have anything like hard copy of any Star Wars stuff, like except for when we were kids. We had VHSs, and on DVD we had episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That 3. But yeah. I was like, how can I call myself a Star Wars fan and like not have all the movies, and to have them in the highest quality of format? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was a good pull too. And it's crazy because Summer pointed it out like right before we were about to leave. We were literally like gonna leave.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, look at this. And we were like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That is cool.
She was talking like, oh, you guys could split it so it wasn't so much. But I was like, it's going to stay at one of our houses either way. I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to just buy this thing. I want it.
It is really cool. But yeah, Furiosa at number 3. Great blockbuster movie. George Miller did. I mean, even in his old age, is fucking putting out fantastic films. And I love this Mad Max saga and this world.
Dude, I'm telling you,
wasteland.
The sci-fi world's just like
they do. They're
when you can really get into like a universe, it just makes it that much better.
Yeah, it does. Number 2, a recent entry at number 2, I have Sing Sing. Again, talked about this a little bit on a recent episode, and just how this really got to me on an emotional level. Really connected with it. Really loved the story. Every performance was fantastic. Colman Domingo was great. I really do like him as an actor. He's actually the voice of Norman Osborn in that new Spider-Man show.
Oh.
Clarence Macklin, who was a supporting role in this movie, which I think he should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And it's also a fantastic story. Like I've said, is that it's about a theater program, a real program at the prison Sing Sing. So there were real life alums of this program while they were incarcerated at Sing Sing in this movie who gave fantastic performances. And it's, that's why I think it really would have been great for Clarence Macklin to be nominated for an Oscar, because like the whole thing about like the American dream as well is also like second chances, or like having a redemption for your dream. And I think that just would have been really cool for like from him going to a theater program in prison to like being nominated for an Oscar. Like how fucking wild would that be? And that, I feel like that just is like the American dream right there,
Yeah.
Second chances. And I think that just would have been a great thing to see, a great message to put out there.
Even if he didn't win.
Yeah, even if he didn't win. But like he is there amongst other greats in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have to, and he didn't come from some, Juilliard school or NYU, or no, he came from a theater program in prison, and like
that would have been really cool.
Yeah, and he was fucking fantastic in this. But coming in at number 1, I do have Doom
Perez.
You're gonna ruin my Doom Part 2 reveal like that?
Go.
Number 1, I do have Doom Part 2. Hasn't changed since I've seen Doom Part 2. Fucking hell. I saw that movie 4 times in theaters.
Psychotic.
Don't regret it at all.
Psychotic behavior.
I would absolutely go see it in theaters 4 more times if I could.
Didn't you also see Oppenheimer like 4 times?
3.
Yeah.
I do have the Steelbook though for Doom Part 2 and for Doom Part 1.
For like big blockbuster movies like that, I feel like they should keep them in theaters longer. Like just it's funny you say that. Oppenheimer was in theater for a hot minute. Yeah,
it was. Doom Part 2 not so much, because Warner Brothers does own it, so they would put it on Max.
Max, yes.
Yeah.
Their favorite thing to do.
Yeah. However, I wonder if they will re-release it in theaters around March for the Oscars. Now,
They could,
but only thing is like it was such a big movie that it already made money.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the times those movies around the Oscar season are re-released so that those movies can get more money and more theater attention. Especially to bring more viewers for the Oscars. Cause like if you want more viewers for the Oscars, then people got to see these movies. But yeah, hopefully they re-release it in theaters.
I'd go see it again for sure.
Yeah, I'd go fucking see it again. I don't really need to say much about this movie. I have glazed this movie so much.
Yeah.
Like I was glazing it while you were going over your list, and I pretty much said everything I need to say. You know, every actor was fantastic.
Appropriate glaze.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer did win a Grammy at least.
Yeah. Since he didn't get nominated at the Oscars.
Yeah. All around, just a fantastic epic sci-fi movie. It's just it's literally one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
I low-key forgot that he could like win an Oscar or win a Grammy for that. So I
always forget that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, cool. All right. He got some kind of recognition at least.
I know. Like, give him some, bro. This score is fucking amazing.
So we always talk about, you know, like Oscars and Golden Globes for best score and stuff like that for these, for these music productions, for these composers. And, you know, we kind of totally forget about Grammys. I just looked it up. Hans Zimmer has 5 Grammys.
Does he?
Yeah.
For what? Does it say? Dune Part 2.
Not on this specifically. Here, let me click on the thing.
Speaking of the Grammys, I can't believe Beyonce has 33 Grammys.
That's insane.
I don't get the Beyonce hype. I don't.
I don't either, actually.
I don't.
5 Grammy Awards, 24 nominations throughout his career. Nope, I don't want to learn about the Grammys. I want to learn what he got it for, bruh.
I hate the internet,
dude.
honestly.
I swear. Can you just show me where he got it?
Should we make a website just called like Straight to the Point?
Because I am so sick of this shit. Like, tell me why he won the fucking award, and that's all I want to know. All in all, for some reason the Grammy website itself said he had 4. Wikipedia is saying 5. Maybe
really? Interesting.
Maybe the Grammy one didn't update for what he just won. I don't know.
Maybe not.
But
maybe not. I don't know.
Wikipedia says he has 5 and 24 nominations. I'm just gonna trust that because I trust that more than the Grammys.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer's the fucking GOAT in my eyes. And like I said, Dune Part 2, just one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. I have definitely, man, I love Star Wars, but like, I don't know. I love both worlds. And I know, obviously, there would be no Star Wars if there was no Dune. I don't know. There's just something about these Dune movies that have been... No, I know. Look, man, lightsabers are cool as fuck.
Well, I will say that it's definitely not helping with like the recent Star Wars projects.
Exactly.
It's I think Disney's putting a bad taste in people's mouth for Star Wars.
So there are our top 10 movies of 2024. Let us know what your list is and if we missed any movies. But
we definitely did.
I'm sure we did. But no, I like my list, you know.
I like mine too. Even with Terrifier 3.
So, as always, thanks again for sticking around to the end and listening to this episode. Make sure to give us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple, wherever you are listening to this podcast episode. Make sure to follow all of our other social media accounts. If you want bonus content, check out the Patreon.
Yeah, and follow us on those other ones just in case TikTok does not stick around.
Yeah, we still got like 55 more days, something like that.
We got some time.
We got a little bit of time. And if you do want to see the full unfiltered and extended version of Garrett drinking around the world, I know that ended up going viral, which we weren't expecting.
Did go pretty damn viral.
Went pretty viral. If you do want to see the unfiltered and extended version of that, make sure to check out our Patreon where you can get bonus content of us. We'll definitely have to do that again.
Yeah. And I'll have to hit every country this time. I did skip Italy.
Just one, though.
Just one. God, my stomach was fucked the next day.
All right. We'll see y'all next time on Duck Takes.
See you guys.